Is traditional lecture method of teaching boring? Well, yes, it is. So now the question is, how can teachers make teaching interesting? Well, they can do it by adopting innovative teaching methods. Now you might be wondering how. To know how, watch this video till the end. In this video, we are going to talk about teaching methods that can make teaching fun not only for the students but also for the teachers. So first, let us understand what are teaching methods. So teaching methods are those methods which a teacher uses to teach in his or her classroom. The method that is to be used depends upon the subject and also on the nature of the students. Today, as we know, every school encourages the teacher to be creative, and this creativity comes through reasoning. So here, teaching methods play a very important role in enhancing the reasoning skills of both, not just the teacher, but also the students. There are various teaching methods as you can see, such as explanation discussion, role play, dramatization, scenario-based learning, and so on. But in this video, we are going to talk about the teaching method called as explanation discussion in detail. And in the coming videos, we will be discussing about the rest. Explanation discussion sounds very simple and easy, but actually it is not. It is the most challenging teaching methods. It is very different from the traditional lecture method. It is not teacher-centered, but it is child-centered. That means here students get an opportunity to express their views, opinions, experiences, and this stimulates critical thinking of the students. Here questions are asked not only by the teacher but also by the students. So you can say that in this method, two-way communication takes place. Now comes the most important question, how to use explanation discussion method. So in order to make your lesson effective, the first step is pre-planning or lesson planning. So the first step towards planning your lesson is to select a chapter or a topic that you want to teach. In order to provide you in-depth understanding of the method explanation discussion, here I am going to select a chapter and I am going to provide you examples based on that. So the chapter that I have selected is from the subject English. The standard is 8th and the name of the chapter is Revolutionary Steps in Surgery. Likewise, you can select any chapter of any subject and of any standard. The second step is to divide your chapter and to select a teaching method. Here we have already selected the teaching method, that is explanation discussion. So now we only have to divide our chapter. As my chapter was lengthy, I have divided into 3 parts. Try to divide your chapter in 3 parts, not more than that. Now the next step is finding videos, PPTs pictures, poems, etc. related to your topic. When we use the method explanation discussion, video, PPTs, pictures helps us to take the discussion forward. So for this chapter, I'm going to use videos to give my students an idea about surgery, and I'm also going to use pictures of the surgeons that are mentioned in this chapter. Likewise, you can also select video, pictures, PPTs according to your topic and your chapter. The next step is to compose specific question. When we use the method explanation discussion, we have to ask questions at every step. For example, after showing a video, I can ask questions such as, what was the video about? What can you see in the video? What are the doctors doing in the video? Have you ever been through a surgery? Likewise, you can ask questions related to your video. Now comes the last and the final step. Here you have to plan some activities to take a recap of what you have taught. In order to do this, you can ask questions related to the topic. You can also allow the students to ask questions to their fellow classmates, or you can divide the class into groups and then ask questions, and the group that gives the right answer, you can give them points. Conducting such activities will motivate the students to take part in the discussion, and this will help them to understand the chapter in a better way. Now comes the most important part, that is the execution of the lesson. The first step is introduction of the lesson. So when we introduce our lesson, we try to give students an idea about what they are going to learn in that lesson. So if my topic is related to surgery, I'm going to give them an idea about surgery. So in order to do that, I can show them pictures, video, PPTs, poems, riddles, or anything which is related to surgery. So I can show them a video which is related to the traditional methods of performing surgery. Likewise, if you're doing a chapter which is related to nature, you can show them videos or pictures which are related to nature. So according to your topic, you show them some videos or pictures just to give an idea to the students about what they are going to learn. Then you can start your discussion from here. Now you can ask them questions related to the things that you have shown. If you have shown a video, you can ask them questions related to the video. If you have shown pictures, you can ask them questions related to the pictures. So what questions can you ask? The first and the most important question you can ask is, what was the video about? Or what was the picture about? Then you can talk about the things that were shown in the picture or in the video, like which method of surgery was shown in the video. And let me tell you one very important quality that a teacher must have, and that is appreciating your students. Even if your students give wrong answers, you appreciate them. So this will motivate them to perform better next time. In the introduction, we gave students an idea that what can the chapter be about. Now, in the second step, we will tell the students the name of the chapter. Like the name of my chapter is Revolutionary Steps in Surgery. So, I will tell my students that today we are going to learn something more about surgery in the chapter Revolutionary Steps in Surgery. And then I will write the name of my chapter on the classboard. And when you're telling your students about the name of the chapter, you can also give them additional information about the author of that chapter. Now comes the fourth step, that is model reading. Model reading is something which is done Only when we are teaching languages like Hindi, Marathi, English, we don't use model reading for any other subjects. So, what is model reading? What is model reading? Model reading is something which is done to improve the reading skills of the students. Here, the teacher asks the students to open their textbook to the chapter which they are learning, and then she reads at least one paragraph from the text, and then she asks students to continue reading. So the teacher points out few students and asks them to read. Now here the role of teacher is to correct the students' pronunciation, voice modulation, whenever and wherever it is necessary. Once the model reading is done and once the student have read till the part that the teacher wants to teach that day, then the teacher can ask them questions related to the content that they have read. And when they are answering the question, the teacher can give them additional information or can explain the content to them in detail. While explaining your content, you can make use of videos, PPTs, which will give your students a clear idea about the content that you are teaching. And in order to take your discussion process ahead, you can ask your students questions related to the videos, pictures, or things which you are showing them. Now something very important, that is bringing out new words. Here, you tell your students about the new words that they have come across while reading the text. You tell them about the new words and you also give them the meanings of those words. And once you have finished teaching till the part you want to teach that day, then just give a small summary of the chapter. And after giving the summary, now your role is to check whether your students have actually understood what you have taught. So in order to do this, you can conduct some activities or you can directly ask questions which will help you to know if your students have understood or not what you have taught. Then comes the last step, that is giving homework. Now here give them some homework which is related to the topic that you have taught, and this way you will conclude your lesson.